lot of recognition and growth during this time, okay? You may be recognized, right? With that Leo energy, with the sun shining on you, you may be recognized. So embrace that. Call forth promotions. Call forth, I don't know, extra, extra money, extra clients. Call forth juiciness. Yes, Brittany.
This is so funny. July 23rd, I got an email, I just saw it today, that I was nominated for a Daisy Award at work. So, this is so weird. I'm writing these little things down, but that one was just too weird.
Thank you for sharing.
Thank y'all. I didn't say that for, I just thought it was
no. Thank you. Listen, this is everyone, every single one of us here is brilliant and important. And we're here with each other. Know that. And I want y'all to feel that. Look at each other, talk to each other. Don't be weird, because you all chose to be in this room together. You all have things to share with each other. I am not the only one here to teach and learn. Okay? We all are. So keep that in mind. So recognition. Thank you. Yes, Brittany. Make sure to go after things with a lot of vitality. I need you to push yourself. I'm not saying overdo it. I don't need you calling me like, oh my God, my leg. But like, I do need you to use your momentum. And this is what I want to say as well. It's like I said, astrology isn't about a cause and effect, but it's magic. It's magic just to acknowledge it and use it. So, and this is something I want to share with us, and I love that y'all are here. Harvest season is what we would call like the fall, right? October, November, December. That's why I love Leo and Virgo season. One, because I have a lot of those placements, truly. Two, it is like that last to me. It's that last portal to me. It's that time to really go in for your harvest. A lot of us, winter time, even we can talk about how even mentally, emotionally things shift for us in that time. A lot of us go inward. So use these last 2 months, Leo season, Virgo season, right? August, September, to really punch out what you need to financially to get yourself to the end of the year, or however you want the beginning of your 2026 to look. Health, whatever the case may be, okay? So that is why we want to really use this energy as well, okay? So health, glamour, investments, education. That's what Spirit told me to share with y'all. If you think about going to school, go ahead. If you need to sign up for that class, get that license, whatever you need to do. If you need to do your glamour, your health, you need to invest, stocks, trading, whatever, this is the time. Another big transit, and we're going to only talk about 2 more. And the main one is going to be the full moon in Leo, which is what we came here for tonight. So the next one I want to talk about is Jupiter being in Leo. Okay. I want to talk about this because this is an important collective transit for all of us, and this transit is going on for almost a year. So it already started. It started on June 30th of this year, and it's going to end on July 26th of next year. Okay, excuse me. So this is the exaltation of Jupiter in Leo. What does this mean? So we already discussed Leo. We just did a whole rundown of Leo, so you got a good amount of information about Leo, how it influences us, etc., right? Well, the archetype of Jupiter, and what it means to say Jupiter is in Leo, what I am saying is each planet transits, retrogrades, trines, sextile, all kinds of stuff. Astrology 101. Okay, remember that. We keep it cute. We'll learn all that other stuff later. But when a planet is in a zodiac sign, it basically is in, I like to say that they're hanging out. They're big friends at that time. And it's kind of like me hanging with my best friend. We bounce things off of each other. We excite each other about certain things, right? We learn certain things, but there's also things that we see in each other we may argue about, etc. That's how we like to look at when these planets are in signs. Jupiter being in Leo is a great one. Jupiter being in Leo is an excellent one. For people who have Leo placements, and even for people who do not. And we're going to talk about why. So, the archetype of Jupiter is that of evolution, wisdom, and abundance. So let's talk about that. If this planet of evolution, wisdom, and abundance is in the house or the sign of creativity, expansion, and authority, then let's think about that. That means we're going to be gaining wisdom and how to be better leaders. That means we're going to be gaining abundance in our creativity, not just money, but we're going to be having creative ideas. We're going to be expressing ourselves more comfortably as well. because what did we say? Leo, with the sun ruling Leo, it shines light on our personalities as well as our shadows. So this is a powerful transit because it's giving us the opportunity to, me and Mariah talked about it, and I like words, I like breaking words down. When I think about the word personality, when I break that word down, I see person, reality. How does your person give you the reality that you want? That's how you need to think about your personality. I was even telling Mariah, I think sometimes we take personality too lightly, if I'm being honest. Like, oh, it's just my personality, it's just how I am. But that, when you really sit with that, that person is how you're getting that reality. And so the beautiful thing about this transit is it's giving you the opportunity to really see your person, to really see yourself and see how who you are gets you the reality. Are you charismatic? Are you a little shy? Are you sensual? Could you be more sensual? Are you disciplined? Are you not? Right? It's not about, I like to say, this is the time to explore yourself with curiosity, not criticism. I'm gonna say that again. This is the time to explore yourself with curiosity, not criticism. Okay? So, with an elongated, because this is a long transit, this is for a year, all right? So we probably will talk about this. I hope that we can start a thing here, and I see y'all again. And so I'm gonna say we will probably talk about this transit throughout our time, because it will be showing up over time, okay? I wrote here something I wanna leave you with this transit. I like to think of it, how many of us have heard of the butterfly effect? Okay, a few of us, right? And the butterfly effect essentially says when small things can create very large results, right? I describe this transit as the butterfly effect because there will be much light shed upon your strengths and weaknesses at this time. And what you choose to do with this will catapult your life. It is going to be very subtle things. Okay, so I want you all to keep that in mind. That's why it's happening for a year. It's not going to be like, oh my God, this month is insane. No, it may be a few moments like that, but it's going to be subtle. So I need you to be very aware. But there's a reason why this full moon, we're going into this portal, because there's going to be so much heightened awareness for us to use. And I'll tell you all another little, I'm excited about it because I love astrology, but it's going to also make things make sense for y'all, okay? So there's going to be subtle yet powerful identity and projections that you will see at this time that influence your larger reality. So you won't just see yourself, okay? You will be seeing others. Keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. You will be seeing yourself and others. So it won't just be things of your identity. It may be projections. You may realize my whole life people were projecting that I was to me, and I'm not. That doesn't mean be in denial. Do the work. I don't need y'all out here like, Lee said I'm good, I'm not mean, I can do whatever. No, that's not what I said. What I said was, there may be projections that you realize this was projected onto me, right? So this is a powerful time. It's kind of like a self-cleanup, like, and there's nothing wrong with none of our personalities. Also, this isn't a, oh, do away with this, I don't like this. No, it's more about integration. It's about embrace. That's why I said Leo reminds us to embrace ourselves. I love Zora. I've been friends with her maybe since I was like 11, so that's like a long time. And one thing about her, she embraces herself, and around her, I can embrace myself. That's the feeling that Leos give you, okay? And so remember that it's not to dismantle yourself, but to embrace, okay? Last thing I want to talk about with the Jupiter being in Leo, and remember, this is from June 30th of this year to July 26th of next year, okay? I'm calling this this is an identity transit, so it's helping us shift a lot in our identity, right? So the last thing I want to say, the way that you're going to be co-creating with this transit by stepping into the spotlights of your own life. And guess what Spirit told me that each and every one of you need to do? Active conversation. Stepping in the spotlight through active conversation. If you are that artist and you have to say it, you have to talk about it, go up and pitch yourself to someone. Hey, I am a decorator. I am a florist. I am this. Or even if this is a conversation with a spouse, I no longer am like this. I no longer like this. Or children, or whomever. This needs to happen through active conversation. We are stepping in the spotlights, because we have many spotlights as mothers, as daughters, as sisters, as wives, as brothers, husbands, etc. As just the beautiful people that we are, whatever roles that we play or don't play, we're stepping in those as spotlights, okay? These are our superhero outfits, every one of them, and we're stepping into them and we're actively talking about it, we're actively getting better at it, okay? Align with your, ooh, this is a good one. I gotta slow this one down for you because this one was a really, really good one. Align with your natural expressions of generosity and leadership. I want us to sit here for a second because all of us have ways of being generous. We've probably heard of love languages. Your way of being generous may be acts of service. You may be that person like, I'm gonna cook a meal, I'm gonna clean up their room, I'm gonna, that may be your generosity. Someone else's generosity may be, I'm going to pray for that person, I'm gonna light a candle for them, I'm gonna drop a flower off for them. Someone else's version may be, I'm gonna share that post. What generosity do you have to give in the rest of this during this transit? And the reason why that is important, and it's connected to our identity because it's gonna help more conversations as we grow. Our personality is directly connected to our auric field, and our auric field is what we attract, it's what we create, it's what we generate, it's what we operate, it's what we destroy. All of those are within our field. Generosity, what we're generous about, Spirit just said, it is some things that we're too generous about. Stop answering the phone for that person you said keeps on nagging or dragging your energy down. Okay? Maybe we're being too generous if we said we're going to put our funds to go on this trip or take care of our health. Okay, I said I'm going to put up this money for the gym, and I'm talking to myself. I'm going to put up this money for fruit, for my fast or whatever, but I spent this money instead on, whatever, right? Also thinking about where we're too generous, but how also can I naturally express my generosity, okay? But leadership, that's the other part of this. In what ways are we naturally leaders? Sometimes we shy away from leadership. Most times, most of us are taught to shy away from authority. Not in Leo season. We are lions and lioness. We are embracing our authority. What ways are you naturally? Sit with that. That may take some time to sit with. Do I naturally get in my authority when I am cooking, when I am at work, when I am, and the reason why I'm bringing this up and I'm highlighting this, because it's gonna show you what you're good at too. Because you will naturally get into a leadership position or authority position with things that you are, and when I say good at, it's like, again, these spotlights in your life, the places where you naturally thrive. But this is also to show you good things about it. It's to show you where you're already a leader. It's to show you where you are already doing great. It's to show you where you already have mastered certain information and applied it as well. Okay? Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Okay. And the last part here is take this time, this next year, to build a new childlike connection with yourself. Right? I talk about this. Leo is all about playing. You can ask the people who know me, especially my mom and my partner. I can get very childlike, and I think it's all of the Leo energy. Like, I can get really, really silly. And that's a good thing. But at the same time, we have to remember to do that too in real life as adults. Like, my partner just had to remind me a few days ago, remember, don't take it too serious. Okay, that bill hit your account and took those $200 that I know you needed. Remember, don't take this life thing too serious. Remember, I said it's going to be those subtle things that the universe is going to be sending us to say, how seriously are you going to take it? And not saying that things don't happen that aren't, cause things to happen for us, but at the same time, life itself is worth living. Remember that. So I don't have to take it so serious because life itself is the thing I'm even here living for. Okay? And remember, we're doing this, and you got to go back to your childlike self at this time and bring it back, engage with it even more, because this is how you're going to translate and integrate the revelations of your identity that you have at this time. Remember, you're looking through with childlike curiosity so that you can translate. When you are already judging, it's hard to translate because it's hard to understand. If someone's saying something, you already judge them, how they're looking, how they're talking, their energy, It's very hard for you to translate or understand what they're saying. A lot of us are like that with ourselves. Did you know that? A lot of us are like that, especially with our inner child. We barely are even hearing our inner child. So again, create this new childlike relationship so you can hear what your inner self and your big self is saying, so you can actually integrate it. I really believe that this is going to happen for a lot of us. Nothing happens overnight, and I really believe, especially for y'all that chose to be sitting here, that these shifts are going to happen for us. And it's going to be, the word that Spirit gave me before this event was reformation, reform. The root word of reformation is reform. And Spirit gave me that word saying that Spirit doesn't want us to change the core of who we are. But Spirit knows that there's things that even we're tired of ourselves, let's admit it. But Spirit also knows there's things about us that we're choosing not to see. Spirit's like, you are so damn good at that thing right there, and you're just either not seeing it or speaking down on yourself or whatever the case may be. And so I really believe that we're gonna go into this portal and have these things happen for us, okay? So yeah, so that is those two major things. So we talked about Leo season, which we are in, and we talked about that identity transit with Jupiter being in Leo. So now we are going to get into what is coming up in a few days that everybody is feeling, but it is really auspicious, it is really lucky, and it, to me, feels very settling. One really cool astrological thing I want to share is Leo and Aquarius are sister signs. And we call, and what I mean by sister signs is they sit on the opposite of the chart. So they are seen to be the exact same and opposite of one another. So if you know a little bit about astrology, you'll typically see how the moons will do that. You'll typically have the full moon of the sister sign of that sign, and it changes. But, so that's something for you to know. So Virgo and Pisces is sister sign. Beautiful. Cancer, Capricorn, you all are sister signs. So, and what's beautiful about that is Cancer typically represents the matriarchal, the feminine, while Capricorn tends to represent the masculine, the patriarchal. So Zora is Leo, sister sign Aquarius. She's the sister sign of Kylie and Iowa, right? Mars' sister sign is Taurus, which we don't have a Taurus here, but
my new boyfriend's a Taurus.
See,
which is wild.
right? And so with that, so just to throw a little something there with Mars even sharing that, and it's so funny because Mars' sign is also ruled by Mars as a Scorpio. Astrology study. We'll talk more about it later. But knowing those kind of things, like, and of course you know, I definitely feel like my mom can tell y'all I've been like into astrology for a long time, and I probably was that girl at the party like, so when you're birthday, what's your sign? Before everybody was like that, right? But now everybody's kind of like that, and everybody's kind of annoyed. Everybody's like, I'm not like every sign. And it can be overgeneralizing, and something I'll share with us for now is that's why we talk about birth charts. If you aren't aware, if you've heard me talk about it, because we all have different placements. That's why you meet some Virgos or whoever, and you're like, she a Cancer, but I don't like her because she's not like other Cancers I know, right? Because we have different placements, which give us different impersonations, different things. Again, we'll talk about that later. But I say all this to say with, you know, Mars being a Scorpio and sharing with her partner, Taurus, just knowing that can help Mars understand their differences a little bit more, understand their attraction, understand how they have, you know, different balances. So just knowing those things, when I say astrology, it's not about stamping somebody like, oh, you're Leo, I know you're a lion, I don't know. But it's about being able to understand people better and understand the blueprints. Remember, it's about it being a blueprint, a way that we understand things, okay? So thank you. So let's get into it. Okay, Aquarius. So if you haven't, so where there's a card in front of you, these are two depictions of the Aquarius energy in tarot. So I just want everyone to kind of get an idea to feel this energy of the full moon that we're about to go into. So on the tarot card, the Aquarius, and we're gonna do this for about 10 minutes, wrap it up, and then we'll get into the reading. Okay. Even with this being, you know, maybe your first time, or some of us our first time looking, we can feel. All of this is about how we feel, right? As well as because your mind is, you know, connected to your heart, so you intuit what you're feeling. So thank y'all for sharing. Let's get into that energy. So hold all of that. Let's see what this full moon in Aquarius can say back to you from what you said to it, from picking that up. Okay. So The archetype, so like I was saying before, I'll say it again, we are actually feeling this energy starting today. Today would be the shadow period of this moon, and the shadow period will go until about August 2nd, right? Because this moon is on the 29th. So I usually work with moons for about 7 days, right? 3 days before, 3 days after, okay? So July 26th to August 2nd. The archetype of Aquarius is that of the water barrier, as we see. And as I like to call the Aquarius the thresholder. That is one energy those cards may be. The way that she's pouring the water, but if you pay attention, the water is going into rivers that are going back into the environment, that are going back into the community, that are going back into yourself. But it's also, if you haven't heard, we'll talk a little bit about it. You've probably heard it. I'm sure all of us are online, and for y'all to be here, you heard it in some form or fashion. We're in the age of Aquarius, right? The age of information. Aquarius represents information, innovation, healing. And so as the thresholder, this moon is going to give you a lot of information if you're ready to hold it. If you're ready to bear witness to it, then there will be a lot of information that comes through. So that is something that I want to go ahead and start by saying with this moon. It may not be, some of you may be feeling emotion, but it may be a lot more information than it is emotion. Okay. So, again, our Aquarius represents information, equality, and a big thing we cannot forget, and Kylie may laugh at this, but Aquarius absolutely represents rebellion. Now, that is the thing that Aquarius is ironically known for. It brings rebellious energy, but what's funny about Aquarius is it is also the sign of humanitarian. It is the sign that talks about the collective consciousness. So with Aquarius having the energy of rebellion, that's why it's innovative. Aquarius comes up with unique ideas. Aquarius comes up with innovative ways to fix things. That's why I like to call it the thresholder, because the Aquarius can come through with information or an idea that can completely change the situation. And guess what? During this full moon, all of us are in Aquarius. Okay? That is how you use this energy. That is how you co-create with it. It may sound silly to someone else. You don't have to tell anyone else you're doing that. But during the full moons, I'm a Virgo. But if it's an Aquarius full moon, I'm an Aquarius. I'm using the energy. I'm using the magic, right? So during this full moon, what I'm saying is, I think what a lot of uncomfort that a lot of us have been feeling is you're rebelling against your true self, or that true self that you programmed yourself to be. Those of us that are always taking care of people, that don't feel the same no more. You rebelling, like, aren't you rebelling against that? The person that's maybe, and I'm gonna put my business out there, that may be being too soft, sometimes too sensitive. That's not working for me no more. I'm rebelling, right? So some of the uncomfort, some of what you feel like, I'm already feeling this, because it's already being this rebellion that's building in you. And rebellion is looked at as a negative thing, a bad thing, but no. This rebellion that you're feeling is for your higher self. This rebellion that you're feeling is because there's each and every one of you are unique. And that expression is needed. It's like I am not blowing smoke up anybody's house. Okay? My mom's here, so I'm not gonna cuss. Because I have to respect her. I do that, okay? And so I'm saying that to each and every one of you. I'm not just saying that. Like I said, if you came here, it's because you're rebelling against old stories. You're rebelling against old thoughts. You're rebelling against old ways, because you're and it's new things that's coming for you. Okay, so it is a fixed air sign, just like Leo is a fixed, right? So that's where we see them being those sister signs, fixed. So I keep bringing that up so that you know the energy is a little stubborn right now. Don't take it personally. Use it. Be stubborn in a good way. We've all heard standing on business, so stand on your good business. We all went around saying what we were excited about, what we're going to do. I need you to be stubborn and stand on that. I need you to be fixed. Some of us are water signs, a little flowy. Some of us are earth signs. We can get a little too rigid, too stubborn, too comfortable, right? In this season, we are standing and being fixed in the things that we are deciding and embracing. Can we say that together? We are standing and being fixed in the things that I said a lot, didn't I? Y'all here. Say it in your own way, right? Y'all looking at me like, girl, that is a lot to say. So Aquarius is ruled by Uranus and Saturn. Uranus and Saturn. What does that mean? This provides a time of concise expansion and heightened individuality. I'm going to say that again, concise. So you're going to be given clear ideas when you're sitting there watching TV and it's like, pack the bag for this tomorrow so that you won't be late for this. Please get up and pack the bag for this tomorrow so that you won't be late for this. The thing I'm going to keep highlighting to you all is it's going to be subtle, but it is powerful and it's concise. You may hear, okay, I need to get up, I need to do this face mask today so that my energy is like this for Thursday for this thing that I need to do. Be concise, okay? Not perfect, but concise. And you don't have to try for this. Remember, Aquarius is the sign of information. This is your information. This is the intuition that you already have. This is the wisdom that you already have. It's going to be coming to you more clear for you to use in a more concise way. Does that make sense? Okay? And heightened individuality. Like I said, Aquarius is heightened uniqueness. So right now, you need to be looking for the ways you can stand out. With Leo, there's no shyness, and with Aquarius individuality, look for the ways that you stand out. You don't, no, you're okay. You don't have to, what Spirit wants me to say to you is, you don't even have to tell people this. Remember, this is really a season about us seeing ourselves. And what I say about telling people is like, you can look for ways to stand out at work, you don't have to mention it. Right? You can look for ways to stand out at home. You don't have to mention it. You can just step up and do it. You can look for ways to stand out in your community. It's because Aquarius is the energy of the collective of the community, but it's also about, Zora said a beautiful thing that we're going to use. What you pour into glows. What you pour into glows. So what's going to be the things that you're going to show up and show your individuality and pour into? From a good place for you, for my Capricorns, okay? It needs to be for my Capricorns and Capricorn specific. Okay? It needs to be you pouring, right? What are you gonna pour into that's gonna go back? Okay? You're in tune. What did I just say? There's this rebellious energy that is building, but it's rebellious about the truth. It's rebellious about authenticity. And maybe you were too comfortable not being in the light. What did we say? We're rebelling against that true self we thought. Maybe you are a lioness, maybe you are the showstopper, and maybe you were just being in that version of, right? It doesn't feel good because it doesn't feel like what you've normally been doing, right? And remember what we said, there will be things that will take place to shine light on our personality as well as others, on people's projections onto us as well as others. Don't be hard on yourself, but sit back. Okay, what have I projected? Everything that is happening is purposeful for each and every one of us, whether it's a conflict, conversation, whatever, is purposeful. So thank you for sharing that. And I love that you shared it because, again, there's light and shadow to all of these transits. There's going to be things in the transit where might get a promotion, a daisy promotion on the bright side of the light, and then not even negative side. On the other side of the light, we had to bring that truth. We had to bring that light, and it caused some chaos. Right? So I think that, what did we say? Embrace and decide. This is your time. And I think this full moon may bring some clarity, right? With this rebellious energy, with this Aquarius. And I think truly you're just being told to embrace and decide. And I'm going to share this with each and every one of us. I think we're all in a season of embracing and deciding. Once you embrace that part of you, once you embrace, you decide and you keep going. It's not up to you to work out all the things around. It's not up to you to move the people or the places. It's only up to you to embrace and decide.
It's so funny that you say that because that's all I've been hearing all week.
Okay,
All
wow.
week. Yeah.
I've done some shadow work recently, and like one of my biggest things was just embracing myself more. I feel like I do try to fit this bubble, and I don't want to do that anymore. Like as simple as that.
You know, I will add on to this. She called me and she was like, "Hey, I'm embracing myself." Her literal words. I'm
Active
embracing
conversation.
myself today. She was like, "You might see me, and I'm wearing something a little."
I love that.
And she said, "But I just want you to know, and I'm enjoying it." And I said, "Okay."
I love that.
Oh,
I really love
so
that.
I love how supportive you are.
Yeah. I mean, you know, I like my.
anyone jump in and share, okay? It's open, but thank y'all seriously for sharing your individual moments and how it's connecting to all of us, okay? Let's keep going so we can get into this reading. So again, Aquarius is in the 11th house, which naturally emphasizes consciousness, community, and long-term goals and strategies. So at this time, I need you to be keeping that in mind. There's going to be a lot emphasized in your networks, in your community, whether that's your spiritual community, your church community, your family community, you may need to build a community around working out. I think that's what I need, y'all, because I think just me and myself and kid. If y'all want to join, we'll do a little walk, okay? but remember, there's a flip side. You may see where you stand out in your group. That don't mean it's not a good group for you. Remember, individuality is being heightened. Now, it may be a group where you're standing out and it's time to be removed, right? But there will be emphasis on our networks, our connections, our community, our consciousness, and our long-term goals and strategies. That's why this, I keep saying, is a lucky transit, because it really, what Spirit told me is, this is the time where there will be miracles in how we transform our personalities. And I can't say why this is so important, why Spirit is really speaking to me about personality. I mean, we'll go deeper about quantum and physics and all these things, because I know why Spirit is speaking to me about it. But what I'm saying to you is, I think that to a degree, spirituality, even religion, all of the things that we use to fix ourselves, to better ourselves, have gotten a little bit so far away from us, when it's as simple as looking in the mirror at the person again before you. And what is that reality? Kylie, and thank you, Brittany, for sharing. Beautiful. Literally, what did we say earlier? There's going to be active conversation about it. Kylie actively conversed. I am doing this. And by choosing to do that actively, sorry, I kind of lost where I was going with that. Basically embracing and deciding, right? And I'm going to get back to long-term goals and strategies. That's what I was saying. The energy of embracing and deciding is so important at this time, because we're being given this portal for our long-term goals and strategies. Also think about it, with these being sister signs, the way I tell everyone, I do everything intuitively. And what I'm saying by that is like, something I'm going to teach, I'm not going to say I'm going to teach you because you may already know, but if you connect with me, everything is about your spiritual sovereignty. I wrote some things here, I'm going to teach you some things. I do not know everything, and you know powerful things. I may tell you to do a ritual, and yourself may say, do this 3 days instead and use a white candle. Do that. And I'm teaching that because I think we've gotten in a time where things have gotten so, maybe TikTok or social media or whatever, that we're like, oh, I got to do it like this, or it has to be like this, and we even lose the magic in that. Let it be natural. Let it be real for you. A ritual can be as simple as, I feel called to share this. I hope it's okay. From my mom, she shared that she took a knife, right, and placed it under her bed and did a mantra like, I'm releasing all things that no longer serve me. Do you understand how powerful that is? Do you understand how simple? I hope it's okay. I share that. That's a simple, but do you the invoking of that, and to rest and wake up like I cut all of that stuff away from me. You see that? So ritual can be, and again, no one told her. She was like, I felt that, I did it. But again, and I'm gonna tell you right now, those are the most powerful things. I need you to know that. You may be making a cup of tea and you're like, lemon gives me vital energy. And you're like, duh. But then you go get the lemon and you squeeze it, and then you turn your spoon and you're like, this tea will make me vibrant and vital, and my communication will be so vibrant today. And then you drink the tea, and then you realize by the end of the day you had all amazing conversations. You even pitched a new business idea to someone. You see how simple it can be, yet it comes from you. Okay? That was a tangent. I don't know why I'm sharing that, but anyways, that's that for y'all. So let's get into how we're going to use this full moon and what's going to be revealed. Y'all ready? For everyone that's feeling uncomfortable, feeling any rebellion, feeling anything, we're going to talk about it. First, number one, this is what is happening. This is what we are feeling. Tell me if I'm wrong with that. The need for expansion of purpose. Anybody feel that? Yeah. Anybody feel that? Like, okay, I think I'm doing what I'm called to do, but what am I doing? Or you're feeling called to do more. Like, hold on, I just started this. What do you mean I know this? I need to do this. I need to do that. Right? There's this need. We're all feeling that. That's another reason we're feeling uncomfortable. Okay? What we're going to do with that, I need you to, so I'm going through this information because that worksheet you have is your homework. That worksheet is your rituals, your work, your stuff for this week. We're gonna talk about it, but this is the magic. There's rituals on there, there's chakra healing on there. Those are my tips, those are my things that I'm giving to you to do during this full moon to work through these things we talked about today, okay? We'll talk about it a little bit more, but I wanted to say that. So what I want to talk about with expanding and feeling the need to expand for purpose, wow, y'all, it's 7:22. How late can everyone, because I want us to be able to do the reading, okay? You might push it to 8. Keep going, okay? But if you have to go, tell me, stop me, go, okay? But I want us to get everything. I talk a lot, y'all. I'm a Virgo, I'm ruled by Mercury. My mom will tell you. So, it's probably my favorite thing to talk. I probably was born to talk, I promise. But this is what I want us to sit and think about. Don't be intimidated by this need to expand the purpose. Don't be intimidated by feeling like, oh my God, what do I do? This is actually deeper. It's spirit saying, are you trying to belong or are you being? Sit with that and approach your purpose with that. Where do I feel my best? When I'm just being me, when I'm just being my best, when I have my best ideas, what am I, or where do I belong? That may be your word. Your energy may be belong right now versus being. But that is what spirit really feels like. Spirit is speaking from that kind of energy when we're talking about purpose. That's why it feels so deep. Because it's about our sense of belonging to a collective, not just the collective we know, but right here. Do you realize that each of us play a part in each other's? This is a collective, even if we meet once, right? So I want you to keep that in mind too when you go to the grocery store. That is a collective. There's a specific collective of people in the store at that one time. You don't got to be all woo-woo about it, but each of us play a role in that cipher, just like we do here. So we're all being called to examine our belonging and being a lot more. Okay. And this means family. How do you belong? What is your purpose in your family unit? How do you belong? What is your purpose in your business life? Are you the one that's being called to start a new business in that city? Are you the one being called to implement that new program? Because it may be something simple like, hey, I organize stuff this way and I seen it make $10,000 more. Spirit is saying, when you talk about purpose, look at where you belong. Look at what makes you feel good. Look at when you're being your best. Look at what things help you be your best. Some of us good with numbers, some of us are not. I'm one of those people. Some of us are good with children, some of us are not. Some of us are good with, so none of us are just doing stuff. Like, you're doing it for a reason. You belong or you be, or there's something you bring, okay? Number 2, there is an integrated awareness of our back rooms. Anybody else saw back rooms? Okay, me and my partner went to see that, so I'm dropping that word here as a concept. When I say back rooms, I am talking about the patterns, the habits, and the programs that we have been coexisting in. That may be a little deep, but you gotta sit with that. What are the habits? And when I say coexisting, have you been people pleasing? Have you been coexisting with lack mentality? Have you been coexisting with self-sabotage? Have you been coexisting with negative self-talk, right? What are the patterns, habits, and programs have you been coexisting with? This is going to be the time for you to sit down with that. Let that information be integrated into your awareness. Don't run from it. And I want to say this because this is how this full moon gets us, Brittany. This little voice in the back of my head is like, well, everybody thinks you think this and you're thinking that you're like that, whatever. And then me and my partner have a conversation and he said something. And then that little voice sees, see, I told you, everybody, that person thinks that. That person, I told you, that's what everyone thinks about you. And I can give a little bit more information about the full moon too. But I'm sharing this example and I'm sharing this because it's gonna be heightened. So I need you to hear that voice. Don't let it talk you off the ledge. Meaning, don't let it let you snap on somebody. Don't let it let you break within to that same old voice, that same old thought, that same old pattern. right? You could be at the gym, push past that one weight, right? You're like, man, I'm tired. Push past it. Don't let that same voice. So that's what this integrated, but be listening. You need to be listening for it so you catch it before it catches you, right? That's how we get out of these programs, these thoughts, these habits. And it'll take time. This stuff isn't going to come overnight, okay? That's the thing about astrology too. It's not just, oh, full moon, I'll learn this. It may come next month. These are portals. You'll hear me use that word a lot, and I love that because they're portals. They just open. It's the beginning. I don't see any, of course the energy changes, but I don't see any moon like, okay, I gotta learn all the things about my inner child by Friday. No, that's not how it works. But this portal is opening you up to learn more about your inner child. Look at it like that, okay? That makes sense? You feel that? Okay. And number 3. Oh, this is what I wanted to say. By sitting with these things, you're opening up the door for that reformation that we talked about. That reformation may not happen tonight, this week. It may take 2-3 months. But when you sit with it, remember, you are the magician. Acknowledging it in itself is making it magic. When you sit with it, you're going to open the door for you to start to transform. Okay? Last thing, this is a lucky and auspicious healing of your exalted expression. This is a lucky and auspicious healing of your exalted expression. And I put in quotation, your individuality is needed. That's basically what I'm saying. This is the healing for you to know that. I need you to heal whatever part of yourself that feels like, whatever part of you you don't like, or whatever thing about you that make you stand out, it actually makes you unique. This is the time where there will be, Spirit told me, there will be miracles and wonders and healings and signs and synchronicities for you to love yourself deeper, for you to know yourself deeper, and for you to show up greater around you. Sit with that. This is an auspicious time. Last thing that I want to say. Any of you saw The Boys? The show The Boys?
No, I know about it.
Okay.
Yeah, I've seen like one episode and it was a lot.
It is a lot. Okay. So this is why I mentioned it. Me and my partner have been watching it. It is a lot. It is a lot. The point is, I actually was feeling the full moon and I started looking at through old notes of mine. And I came across where I wrote something to myself in parentheses, Starlight. This is from like 2025, almost a year ago, this reading that I gave myself. But there's a character in the show named Starlight, and these are superheroes in the show, right? That really daunted on me, as y'all could imagine. Like, you know, sometimes being psychic, you can expect certain things. Other times it's like, whoa, I wrote that, what was that, what is going on? So, but Spirit said that's for all of us here. Spirit said that I got that for this. What is the Aquarius represented by on the card? What have we been talking about this whole time? Our light. And light being shined upon us. That's why I love what Zora said. What you pour, the star is showing that what you pour into glows, starlight. And I just had to share that with y'all because it was so beautiful for me to receive. But Spirit said each of us are our own starlight. And you don't have to watch the show, but she's a superhero, right? So each of us are our own superhero. But Starlight on the show goes through these transformations of her identity and all these different things. When she just wants to be herself, she's also very rebellious against the way the collective mind is behaving. Each of us are being our own starlight in this next season, okay? And with that being said, decide, embrace, and go forth with your starlight. I want you to pick words. I want you to think about what is my starlight? Who am I? And starlight doesn't have to be your superhero name, but that's the superhero energy. And there will be healing light that will take place, okay? And last thing, and we're gonna get into this reading so I can let y'all go. There are no retrogrades. Anybody knows? Woo! Okay, so from now, from about the first week of August, so we're getting into to the first week of September, there's no retrograde. So basically the whole month of August is free. And what I mean by that and why I'm sharing that with you, even if you know a lot about astrology or not, that is a good time to just start things. And let me not say to just start things. It is a good time to start things. The reason why we don't want to do that during retrograde, because things can change, they can shift. Retrograde things sometimes need to be rewired, rethought. So while we don't have any retrogrades, that's why I was harping on y'all. get the gym routine started, get the meal plan started, get the podcast, whatever. This is a good time because you won't have any bumps in the road, quote unquote, with retrograde. And remember what we talked about, Leo and Virgo season is right before that harvest in September, October, November. So use this free time. Okay. Any questions?